What must we do to be saved? Friends, do you know how to be saved? Do you want to know how to get saved? Friends, here is how to be saved. We must believe in the holy sacred name of E. Because only E can forgive us of all our sins, of our past sins and also our future sins. Friends, and it is because E have already made E's atonement for all the sins of everyone in E's world. And this is why we all need to believe in the holy sacred name of E. Because E is the odd whom is the sovereign king of all the heavens and the earth, whom has already fulfilled all of E's laws for us, and also E has made it all possible for us to be saved. Because E is the sovereign one, whom is the holy prophet, whom came down from E's heaven to redeem us and also to make E's atonement for all the sins of all the people in E's world. Even all the sins of everyone from the past and also the future. And of all those whom E shall called. And also of all those that are E's. And this is why we all need to accept and embrace and also acknowledge Elu'hymn. And this is why we also need to believe in the holy prophet called Elu'hymn. Because when we hallel Elu'hymn, we are actually acknowledging E, whom is the Holy One. And also E, the sovereign King of heaven, whom is called Elu'hymn. And whom is the sovereign one, and also the holy prophet, whom is E's salvation. And also whom is the Messiah, and also the Christ and E Christ. But unlike Shaitan, whom is called Godriel and also God, Satan has being rejected. And also all those that are gods, they also would be rejected because they have been reserved for God, whom is called Satan. Thank you. Acts chapter 16 verse 16 to 40. And as we were in the marketplace, there was a certain damsel who was possessed with the evil spirit, and her masters them were using her for evil divination and for making much money from her demon possession and also from soothsaying. And she met Peter, James and John, in the marketplace, and also in the same place where Paul once met with us, when she was brought there by her masters. Because she made them much money while she was in the marketplace and when she was doing soothsaying there for them. But while we were going to E's house to meet and to pray to Elu'hymn, the same woman followed us, and she cried out with a loud voice, saying, These men are the servants of Elu'hymn, whom is the Holy One. And the Most High Sovereign One, whom is the odd of Abraham. And whom is the Christ and E Christ, and whom is E the odd, whom came down from E's heaven to show us E's way of salvation. And she followed them many days, and she was saying this to the people them. And while Peter, James and John were in the marketplace, they prayed for her. And they commanded by Elu'hymn, whom is the Christ, turned to pray for her. And they said to the evil spirit, E the odd, command that you come out of her. And the evil spirit of Juju came out of her. And the evil spirit came out of her that same hour. And when her masters saw that their hope of making their gains was gone, they caught Peter and James and John. And they threw them out of the marketplace, and they arrested them. And they were taken to the rulers of the city. And then they brought them to the magistrates. And they were saying to them that these men are troubling our city, and they're doing exceedingly great miracles. And they are teaching E's customs, which are not lawful for the Jews to receive, and which is neither lawful for the Romans to observe, either, seeing that the city is under Roman laws. And then the multitude of people came together, and they rose up against E's disciples them, and then the magistrates them they rent off E's disciples' clothes, and then the magistrates them commanded that they all should be beaten. And when they who was commanded to beat them had laid their hands on them, they beat them with many stripes, and there were many bruises upon them. And then they cast them into prison. And the jailer who was in charge to keep them safe, having received E's words from them, felt sorry for them. But being placed in charge by the Romans, he thrust them into the inner prison, and he placed their feet in the stocks. And then at midnight Peter and James and John prayed to Elu'hymn, and they sang praises to the odd. And when the other prisoners heard them, they also sang with them. And then suddenly there was a great earthquake, so that the foundations of the prison were shaken, and immediately all the prison doors were opened. And every one who was being imprisoned there, their bands and their stocks were being loosened. And the jailer keepers of that prison was awakened out of his sleep, and seeing that all the prison cell doors that they were open, he took out his sword, and would have killed himself, supposing that all the prisoners them had fled from their cell. But Peter cried with a loud voice, saying to them, Don't you kill yourself, nor don't you do any harm to yourself. Because we are all still here. Then the head jailer called for a light, and they ran into all the prison cells, as they sprang into action to secure the prisoners in the prison cells. But when they all realized that the prisoners were all there, they came into his disciples' cell trembling, and they fell down before Peter, James and John. And then the head jailer brought them out of the prison, and then the head jailer said to them, Sirs, what must I do to be saved? And then they said to them, Believe on the odd. And also that is whom is the Christ, and whom is is. And then you all shall be saved, and also you and all your houses shall be saved. And then his disciples spoke to them about and also about his word, and also about Elu'hymn, the odd, and also to all those who were in their cells. And this was when they took his disciples them to their homes, later on that very day. But in the hour of the earthquake and during the night of the earthquake, they washed the stripes of his disciples, and then his disciples baptized them. But after that the other jailers went to their homes straightway. And then the head jailer stayed in the prison house. But the head jailer brought his disciples them into his house, he sat down with his disciples, and then he had dinner with them, and they all rejoiced with him. And he believed in the sacred holy name of with all his house. And when it was day, the magistrates sent the sergeant to the prison house, asking that the jailer would release his disciples, and to let his disciples them go free. And the keeper of the prison told this saying to Peter and James and John, and also the other disciples of Elu'hymn. And also that the magistrates had said to let them all go free. And also that they all should now therefore depart, and go in peace. But Peter said unto them, The Romans, they have beaten us. And also they have openly condemned us because we aren't Romans, and they have cast us into their prison. And now they want to thrust us out privately? No, this is not right. Let them come themselves and fetch us out. And the sergeants told these words unto the magistrates, and they feared, when they heard that they weren't Romans. And they came and besought them, and brought them out, and desired them to depart out of the city. And they went out of the prison, and entered into the house of Lydia, and when they had seen the brethren, they comforted them, and then his disciples departed from there. Thank you. Friends, to learn more information about Elu'hymn, whom is called and the Holy One, would you please see my other messages right here on Facebook page and also my YouTube channel. Thank you. The end.